Baroness Chakrabarti wants to follow up. Chairman.
Lord Chancellor, you touched earlier on your ambitions for a culture of free speech in our country. As a former government lawyer from 1996 to 2001, I do have to ask you about the culture of free speech in your department. Now, at the turn of the year, we read that an internal survey suggested that a third of private office staff in your department answered that they felt that they had been bullied or harassed in the previous year. Now, I know you are currently under investigation, but as we've learnt today, you've got a great deal of responsibility in the interim. You are still in post. You've used the word humility, I think, 2 or 3 times. So I have to ask whether anything is currently being done in the department to improve staff morale and just to perhaps change the culture or just improve people's sense of self and worth and ability to do this vital work.
Thank you. And look, I'm not going to touch on anything which relates to the inquiry. I'm sure you would agree that would be improper of me. But let me say generally, both in previous departments and in the Ministry of Justice, I would say we're served by a terrific cohort of civil servants. By and large, the relationship is very effective with ministers across the board. I think that we've also got a very ambitious agenda in the way that I've described, and the overwhelming majority relish that. That's what civil servants, and like you, I was a former Foreign Office, a former government lawyer, so I appreciate the equities and the value of the civil service. I work very closely with Antonio Romeo, my permanent secretary. We've got all the processes in place, and we monitor in relation to bullying processes and procedures to make sure that folk who want to make a complaint can in the right way. It's important that that's there. And also I recognise that COVID across the board has been very difficult. It's been difficult for anyone working in HMPPS because of the impact on the prison regime of COVID. I think in terms of the courts, obviously, if you take jury trials, the social distancing rules had to be changed. That's created a backlog.
Chris, I understand that, but I'm talking specifically now about your Whitehall staff, your private office and close staff. And in the spirit of humility, regardless of the investigation, which will no doubt conclude, we all hope, I'm sure you hope that concludes shortly, in the interim, in the spirit of humility, have you done anything different? Have you reflected and done anything different? Because it is a serious thing to be accused of. Have you done anything different to perhaps change the dynamic in the department close to you with your close staff?
Yes, so I think you're now trying to take me into the inquiry, which is improper and it's got nothing to do with free speech, and I'm going to leave it there.
I would like to be able to use what time we've got left to where there's a possibility of our taking the discussion further, if we can. Sorry to stop you, Jamie, but...